A lot of times we don't even be thinking and we end up in sin. Because that's just how things work in the world today. We just sin. It's easy. But if you got something as a constant buffer for you to look at and say, you know what? I can't do that. If you about to commit adultery and you got this, you got to take your shirt off. You got to pull your shirt up. You're going to touch your fringes and you're going to think, you know what? I'm not supposed to do that. Because of this right here, y'all eyes seeing y'all teaching. So y'all tell me, are we lying? Are we out here are we asking y'all, where the collection plate? Where the, oh, we don't got one. We not out here for y'all money. We out here to give y'all the knowledge of God, the knowledge of self. Y'all need to know who y'all are. Y'all need to, give me Deuteronomy 10 and 12. Y'all need to know what's required of y'all. Because it's not like, you an Israelite and that's it. Oh, I'm an Israelite, cool. Everything is good. Nah, we got work to do because we can't take down this oppressive system by ourselves. We can't change the minds of all our people just alone. We need y'all help. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12. And now, Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee?
What does God require of you? What's your name? I didn't get your name. Mike, Lance, and Chance. Read.
But to fear the Lord thy God.
God said, what do I require of you but to fear me? To fear God means to fear his judgments. It doesn't mean be scared like, oh my gosh, it's God. I used to struggle with what that meant for a long time. But to fear God means fear his judgments, meaning you do something wrong. According to the scriptures, you're supposed to fear what could come behind that. Read.
To walk in all his ways.
To walk in his ways.
And to love him. And to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul.
Read.
To keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
Read.
For thy good.
For thy good. He said, all I ask is for y'all to do these things for your own good. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. That's a commandment. Is that good or bad? That's a good thing. If we don't hate each other, we're not going to kill each other. If we don't hate each other, we're not going to steal from each other. We're not going to fight one another. Read.
Behold, verse 14. Behold, that heaven and the heavens of heavens is the Lord thy God.
So, y'all need to know what's required of y'all. When it said keep my commandments, y'all got to know God's commandments. What's the 10 commandments? Just give me one. Give me one of the 10 commandments. You can pass if you want to. Give me one. Thou shalt not kill. Give me one. Thou shalt not steal. Right? That's just 2. There are over 600 commandments in the Bible. Okay? 10 encompass all of them. Right? I'll give you an example. Give me Exodus chapter 20. I want you to read. Give me thou shalt not covet.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 17. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant.
So, if God said that we should not covet, what laws do that go into? I'm not going to covet my neighbor's wife, which means I'm not going to commit adultery, which means I'm not going to bring up seed in another man's wife. That is against God's law, right? It also means that I'm not going to lust, because covetousness comes with a myriad of different things. You might steal something because you're covetous, or you might desire something that is, close our ears, that is sexually fantasizing to you, but it's against God's law. But because you covet that or you desire that, you'll break God's law. 10 encompass all of them. When you read, go up to the second commandment.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. Okay. Verse 4. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image.
We should not make any graven images. What is that going into? Idolatry. So now, what does it mean to be idolatrous? If this is the one true God and he gives you a set of commandments, but you decide you want to serve Buddha, and under Buddha it's okay to smoke, you're going to break that law of smoking. God tell us to not defile our temples. Right? So the 10 commandments is an umbrella. It's an umbrella. Right? The first 4 go into serving God and not having other gods before the Most High God. Keeping his Sabbath day. That is a law for us serving the Lord. Right? Not making graven images. That's us serving the Lord, not putting other gods before him. And then you got God's laws like thou shalt not covet. Those cover laws like thou shalt not kill. Or thou shalt not kill goes into not hating your brother in your heart.
So you say the first 4?
The first 4 go into commandments that deal directly with God. Right? Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make any graven images. Right? Keep the Sabbath day. These laws are for us and God, between us and God. The other 6 are between us and each other. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness. All of these laws cover a multitude of other commandments. Thou shalt not kill goes into don't hate your brother in your heart. Because if you hate your brother in your heart, you'll kill him. So the 10 are just an umbrella. But there are over 600. Watch this. Is it okay to rape? No. But is it in the 10 commandments? No. But let's find out how it is. Give me that. Deuteronomy 22. Yeah, 22. I think it's 22, 25. Or it might be 25. Might be 22.
Yeah. Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 25.
Read.
But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field,
So if a man finds a betrothed damsel or a woman, if a man sees a woman, read,
and the man force her,
and he force her, what does it mean to force somebody? To make it happen, force them, read.
and lie with her,
And he lied with her, meaning what? He raped her. Read.
then the man only that lay with her shall die.
So there was a law that he had to be put to death. Why?
But unto the damsel thou shalt not do anything.
Read.
There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death.
What's the sin that the man did?
For as when a man rises up against his neighbor,
For as when a man rises up against his neighbor, meaning when a man kills another man, read,
and slayeth him,
and kills him, read,
even so is this matter.
rape is the same thing. So God says raping somebody is equivalent to killing. So when we read thou shalt not kill, it covers don't rape. You get what I'm saying? That's why the 10 commandments are set up like that. They cover a multitude of commandments. You got a question? You look like you're stewing.
No, I'm just thinking.
All right, so this is what I want to do. Give me the book of 1 John chapter 3.
First John chapter 3 and verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law.
If you commit sin, you transgress God's law. Read.
For sin is the transgression of the law.
So sin is the transgression of the law, meaning those commandments that we were talking about, that we were reading. So now we have to let y'all know what sin is. We just let y'all know what sin is, but what not to do, how to keep this, how to not sin. All right, you got to know what it is that you're in sin with. So get me the book of, let's do Numbers. This is an easy one. I want y'all to look at all the brothers out here. On the bottom of our shirts, we got fringes. Okay? This is a commandment. Seems silly, right? Seems silly. But watch this. God has a purpose for everything. Read.
Numbers chapter 15 and verse 38. Speak unto the children of Israel and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments.
So God says, speak unto the children of Israel, which is the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and command them to put fringes in the borders of their garments. Read.
Throughout their generations.
How long is throughout your generations? Huh?
Life.
Forever.
Yeah.
So you, your kids, your kids' kids, your kids' kids' kids. Everybody got to wear fringes. Let's see. Why? Read.
And that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue.
So you put a ribbon of blue on top of those fringes. Read.
And it shall be unto you for a fringe,
Read.
that ye may look upon it,
That you look upon it. Read.
and remember all the commandments of the Lord.
And remember all the commandments of God. That's the purpose. Because guess what? If you have a tendency to steal, Mike, and you are trying to overcome that sin, because you know you can't steal, it's a sin, and you don't have on fringes, it's going to be easy for you to go and just fall back into that sin.
So I should
But-
wear fringes every day.
But if you wearing your fringes, listen, if you wearing your fringes and you about to steal something, these are supposed to remind you, I can't do this. It's supposed to be a reminder, because guess what? Out of sight, out of mind. A lot of times we don't even be thinking and we end up in sin. Because that's just how things work in the world today. We just sin. It's easy. But if you got something as a constant buffer for you to look at and say, you know what? I can't do that. If you about to commit adultery and you got this, you got to take your shirt off. You got to pull your shirt up. You're going to touch your fringes and you're going to think, you know what? I'm not supposed to do that.
I got a question.
What's your question?
Why yours black and theirs blue?
Mine is dark blue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's a navy blue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I appreciate you. We on point up here though, Mike. You understand?
Hey,
So get me. I want to read one more thing. Get me Deuteronomy before you go, Chance. Let's get Deuteronomy chapter 22.
I gotta go to
Okay.
my wife.
Deuteronomy 22. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man,
The woman should not wear that pertains to men, or that what belongs to men. Read.
neither shall a man put on a woman's garment.
Neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. Right? So what's that going into? Cross-dressing. What is a woman's garment that men shouldn't wear?
Anything, bro.
Everything, but what's the main, like if you were to look at somebody outwardly, because you can't see undergarments, a dress, that's a woman's garment, right? So what is a man's garment? No. Pants. Pants were made for men. They are breech because we are supposed to cover our private areas. You understand? Give me the law in Deuteronomy, Exodus 28, because it's supposed to come down to the thigh. It's supposed to reach down to the thigh. That's what we're supposed to cover. Read.
Exodus chapter 28 and verse 42. And thou shalt make them breeches to cover their nakedness.
So breeches were supposed to be made to cover our nakedness. Read.
From the loins even unto the thighs they shall reach.
From the loins to the thigh, because that's what the general area of where a male's phallus is. Read.
And they shall be upon Aaron and upon his sons.
They shall be upon the men, not women. Women don't have nothing that dangles. We got to cover that up. So we have to put on pants. If we wore dresses or we wore something that you could see up underneath, you would see all our women. All they got to do is wear underwear and put their dress on, right? Men We ain't got that. We got a different issue. You understand? So pants were made for men. That's why it says the woman shall not wear that pertains to a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. God don't like that. That's confusion. You understand? So that's another commandment. Other commandments: keep the Sabbath day holy. What's the Sabbath day? The seventh day of the week. The seventh day of the week is what? Huh?
What you mean, Sunday?
The seventh day of the week is what? Saturday. Saturday. The first day of the week, Sunday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Saturday is the seventh day of the week, which means what? Saturday's the Sabbath. On the Sabbath day, we have rules. God has rules. Read.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 8. Excuse me. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor.
6 days shall you do your work. That's Sunday through Friday. Read.
And do all thy work. But the seventh day is a Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
But the seventh day is the Sabbath. What are you supposed to do on the Sabbath? Read.
In it thou shalt not do any work.
On the Sabbath day, you're not supposed to do no work. Read.
Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant.
Nobody in your house supposed to do no work. In today's time, that would be equivalent to us going and buying something, going to the store and having somebody cook a meal. That's the equivalent. Read.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work.
Read.
But the seventh is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
Read.
In it thou shalt not do any work.
Read.
Thou nor thy sons, nor thy daughters, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates.
So nobody was to be doing any work on the Sabbath day. Read.
For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth,
Read.
the sea, and all that is in them is, and rested the seventh day.
And God rested the seventh day, which means the seventh day we're to rest. That's how God set it up. That's how he wanted. So, get me Exodus 35 and 3. Because there are other laws that we're not supposed to do. On the Sabbath day, we're not supposed to cook. Read.
Exodus chapter 35 verse 3. Ye shall kindle no fire throughout your habitations upon the Sabbath day.
Kindling fire means cooking, right? Because then you actually had to kindle a fire to heat whatever up. Now we got microwaves and ovens and stoves and all of that, air fryers. But God said on the Sabbath day, we're not to kindle no fire. We're not supposed to be cooking on the Sabbath. That's a statute for the Sabbath day, to keep it holy.
Right.
If you doing that on the Sabbath, you breaking the law, you in sin. You understand? So it's a myriad of different sins that we have to get acclimated with and understand and know so that we can come out of them and start keeping the commandments of God. That's the only way we're going to get out of this condition.
Right.
That's the only way God's going to receive us. He's not receiving Mike as a sinner. The only way he going to receive you is if you keeping his commandments. Lance, the only way, how old are you? 17. The only way God is going to receive you is if you keeping his commandments. As a 17-year-old, your hormones is jumping. Guess what? God said we're not supposed to be fornicating. We're not supposed to be committing adultery. If you're going to have sex, it need to be with your wife. You can't get married till you're 20. Those are laws that we read in the Bible.
Right.
You understand? So we have to know that, and we have to seek that out of the Bible.
Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ, bless Bishop Nathaniel here. Hey, March 2025, we're going to have a land blitz fundraiser. So what I need you all to do is hit the QR code, whatever that thing is right there, fill it out on all our social media platforms, because we blitzing. We need this land. We got to get this fundraiser done, Israel. I'm trusting you. Get it done.
Cap, what's a land blitz fundraiser? Exactly what it is. We blitzing for the land. One day, with a large goal, we're gonna raise the funds for the land. That's my goal, that's my mission, and we're gonna make it happen. And I need your help to get it done. There's a link on the Bishop's Instagram and all of our social medias. Click on that link and fill it out. What you're going to do is, you're going to estimate what amount of donation you can make on this one day. On that day, you can also make random donations. But those of you that are watching this video now, we want to get an estimate of how hard we're going to have to go when we blitz. There will also be an in-house event. Y'all remember the Journey to Freedom? This is going to be bigger and better, live from Atlanta. You better get your tickets now, because probably after this announcement, it's going to be sold out. Only 400 tickets. But guess what? All the funds are going to the land. So get it now. Get it now.
What is a nation?
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models.